One of the most common questions that I get from parents is, how do we de-escalate a situation? What do we do in the face of a chaotic meltdown with a child? And in order to answer that, we first have to understand how our brains were designed. And one tool that I'm going to use today is the hand model of the brain that was developed by Dr. Daniel Siegel. We're going to use our fist to explain what's actually going on in the brain and the three main parts that play a role in the midst of a crisis or a meltdown. First, we have the bottom part here, which is the brainstem. The brainstem is responsible for our most primitive functions. So balance, hunger, thirst, fight, flight, freeze, that's all right here in the brainstem. The next is the limbic region. And this part's responsible for memory, for strong emotions, and it holds the structures that help us detect danger. The top part here, the cortex, this part's responsible for logic and reasoning, decision-making and language. So when this brain is working together, this is a child that can make good decisions, that can regulate their body, calm their emotions, and make sense of their world. The reason why it can be really frustrating and sometimes even scary to know what to do when there's a crisis or some kind of meltdown is because what's actually happening is that this child has flipped their lid. So this top part that might help to understand the words that you're saying, that might help to reason or maybe make a wiser choice, this part's not available. What's actually taken over are these more emotional and more safety-focused parts of the brain. So how do you help a meltdown? First, you have to talk to this part to help the brain come back in alignment. Communicate safety with your tone of voice, with your body language. Let them know that you're present. Acknowledge feelings. Let this part of the brain know that you see them and that you hear them. Once you've communicated to these parts of the brain, to the emotional and the safety-focused parts of the brain, now all three pieces can work together. Now this child can learn a new concept. When they flip their lids, try to connect first. Try not to focus on teaching or learning something new or trying to explain why what they're doing is not okay. Speak to this part first. And once you've done that, now they can be successful. This is a great tool not just for understanding what to do in the face of a crisis or what to do to de-escalate a situation, but also as a proactive tool to use on the front end. You can start to model this because this is all brains. We all flip our lids, even the adults. So when you notice that you're starting to maybe get angry or you're starting to feel like you're losing control, you can say to your child, I'm about to flip my lid, so I'm gonna go take a deep breath or I'm gonna take a walk so that I can continue in this conversation. By modeling that for them, you not only show them that everybody has this experience, but you give them a tool and some language so that they can understand what's happening in their own brains and bodies. So I challenge you guys to try this. Try out the hand model of the brain. Kids of all ages can learn it, and it helps give you some language so that you can de-escalate a situation effectively.